It's official, we'll have a new Resident Evil live-action movie, which will be a complete reboot in the world of cinema, as well as being much more faithful to the video games than the previous films. But what could fans expect from this new movie, and what could Zack Krieger's version be like? Besides, Mr. Kennedy would have been confirmed as the main character of Resident Evil 9, while Jill would no longer be so important in the new game. How do you see? So, let's talk about all this in this new video and let's get started! Resident Evil returns to the world of cinema through Constantin Films and PlayStation Productions. The new film has been confirmed in an article from The Hollywood Reporter, where we are told that this project, now official, will be directed by an American director, Zack Krieger. This new film is a reboot, so it will have nothing to do with Paul W. Anderson films, nor will it be a prequel or sequel to Welcome to Raccoon City, starting a completely new Resident Evil universe in the world of cinema. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the film will be scripted by Krieger and Shay Hayden, who has worked on such films as Army of the Dead, Las Vegas, and John Wick 3 and 4. The report indicates that this version of Krieger's Resident Evil will be a complete revision that will focus the film on horror and be more faithful to the original games. The distribution rights of the film are being disputed by 4 major studios, being at least 2 of them Warner Bros. And Netflix. Apparently, the great interest of these production companies would be for the reputation of the saga and the director, so they would be willing to pay out a large amount of money to ensure the distribution. For now, we have no more official data, but rumors suggest in the coming months we'll receive new information, such as the final name of the film, cast confirmation, and official synopsis, so we'll be watching for any updates. However, previous rumors and the director's previous work could give us a pretty good idea about what we fans of the games can expect with this new review in the movies. So let the imagination fly and see how the new Resident Evil movie could be. Now we have Krieger's confirmation as the director of the next film in the saga. I think it would be good to talk a bit about his latest horror-focused project, Barbarian, a 2022 film, because it might give us a general idea about what to expect with this new version of Resident Evil. Barbarian is a psychological thriller film written and directed by Zack Krieger. The film tells us the drama of Tess, a young woman who travels to Detroit for a job interview. So, she rents a house through Airbnb to spend the night. The problem comes when Tess arrives in the city late at night, only to discover that the house was doubly booked and a strange man had already moved in. However, this complete stranger is not the creepiest thing that this resident hides. Resident Evil fans will find in Barbarian quite a lot of influence from Capcom games. For example, in the technical part, we'll see fixed camera angles, shots with perspective changes, games of light and shadows, and rooms that will remind them the scenario seen in Resident Evil 1 Remake and 7. This script also has similarities with things from the games, such as the concept of a seemingly normal house that hides much more than it appears, for example, rooms, tunnels, and secret passages. We'll also see mystery relationships between the characters with interesting plot twists, although nothing we haven't seen before. And of course, Barbarian, like the games, will show us things and creatures completely bizarre and terrifying. Considering the above, the movie will be more horror-oriented and would be more faithful to the first games. Perhaps we'll see Rebecca Chambers and Billy Cohen as the protagonists as they investigate an abandoned training center owned by the Umbrella Corporation, which will eventually lead them to discover the origins of a dangerous biological weapon known as T-Virus. Though, don't forget the official plot has not yet been revealed. If Krieger keeps the style of Barbarian, the new Resident Evil film will reduce the action to key moments and there will be more suspense, which doesn't sound bad but may not appeal to the general public, who might go to the cinema expecting explosion and a bunch of VFX. Finally, I think that if the director achieves a balance between what we've seen in Barbarian plus the Paul Anderson first film style and a good audiovisual production, we would be facing perhaps the most decent Resident Evil film to date. For now, let's wait for more official data to have a more accurate idea of how this new film would be. We finish with Resident Evil 9. This time the information comes from Dust Golem, who tells the truth lately has been contradictory with his reports, which now indicate that after receiving new data, he can confirm that the main protagonist of Re9 will be Leon Scott Kennedy, but on the other hand, Jill Valentine would no longer be a relevant character in the next game. Dust Golem has defended himself from criticism, claiming that Jill was planned as the protagonist during the early stage of development of Re9. However, at some more recent point in the project, Capcom decided to eliminate or reduce her participation, so now she could even be absent from the next game. When questioned by many users, Dusk has claimed that the plot, character and gameplay changes are something common in the saga. It wouldn't be the first time that Capcom changes things in their games, even in advanced projects like Re9. If what Dust Golem says is real, it seems that much of the rumors that are going around the internet about the game could be false or at least being completely outdated. So I don't rule out that the final game will change quite a lot to what we knew. What has happened with Jill is a sample of this. That's all for today, people. I hope the video has been interesting for you. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, leave your comments and your likes. Thanks for watching and don't forget, we'll see you soon here in the Beat Island.